Good morning, crime community. I'm here to continue reading James Manning's book, A Little at a Time. This is very difficult subject matter. We start with a guy named Eugene Hale Braden, otherwise known as Jim Braden, also known as James Lee. Too many names, huh? Eugene Hale Braden, also known as James Lee and Jim Braden, was arrested 35 times while living in California. He had convictions for burglary, illegal bookmaking, and embezzlement. On November 21st, 1963, Braden arrived in Dallas with Morgan Brown. They stayed at the Cabana Motel in Suite 301. Later that day, Braden visited the offices of Texas oil billionaire Harold L. Hunt. Allegedly, Jack Ruby was also in the offices when Braden arrived. After the assassination of John F. Kennedy, Braden was arrested and taken in for interrogation because he had been acting suspiciously in the Dal-Tex building. Remember that word, Dal-Tex, D-A-L-T-E-X building. That was the building next door to the, overlooking Daly Plaza. Braden told the police he was in Dallas on oil business and had gone into the building to make a phone call. Braden was released without charge and returned to his room at the Cabana Motel. Jack Ruby visited the motel around midnight. Jack Lawrence. Jack Lawrence was known marksman in the United States Air Force. He was regular at the Carousel Club in Dallas, owned by Jack Ruby, a close friend of George Senator, Ruby's roommate. Lawrence was a young man who worked as a salesman at a downtown Dallas Lincoln dealership. Jack Lawrence claimed that Lee Harvey Oswald asked to test drive a car in early November. On November 21st, 1963, Jack Lawrence borrowed one of the showroom cars. The following day, he failed to turn up for work. According to Jim Mars on Crossfire, about 30 minutes after the assassination, Lawrence came hustling through the company's showroom, pale and sweating, with mud on his clothes. He rushed into the men's room and threw up. He told coworkers that he'd been ill that morning and that he tried to drive the car back to the dealership, but had to park it due to heavy traffic. Later, employees found the car behind the wooden picket fence on top of the grassy knoll overlooking the Daly Plaza. They reported the missing vehicle and Lawrence's strange behavior to the police. So Lawrence was interviewed by officers investigating the assassination. He left town after being released by police. A lot of researchers say they may have been in the drain on Elm Street where JFK got shot and would have been able to get a shot at Kennedy as he had been by. The tunnel drain came out into a creek, so he was muddy. I don't think he was one of the shooters, yet I think he was there. When you're in a manhole, all you can see is the street through the tight opening. With the car moving at the time, JFK would have been in the view. So we're going to leave that till tomorrow about Edward Lansdale and Charles Harrelson. And I want to read one more chapter here, one more witness from the Dal-Tex building, which I just said to try to remember. It just goes right into another book called The Killing of the President by Mr. Groden. The Figure in the Dal-Tex Window. Across the street from the book depository, a man was sitting on the step of the Dal-Tex building fire escape. Seconds after the first volley of shots occurred, Kennedy was hit in the throat and back, Connolly in the back. The man in the fire escape, whose moments before had been a normal sitting posture, had now fallen off the step and was supporting himself with his arms. Why this sudden startled reaction? Careful examination of the Altogen's photograph reveals an unidentified, dark-complexed man leaning out of the window just below the fire escape, his left arm visible in the still, his right arm in the shadow. This window provided a perfect vantage point for at least two gunshots, the one that missed striking the south curb of the main street and the shot that struck the president in the back. So it seems to me that President Kennedy was shot 3 times. one from the front, one from the back, and one from the side of the head. So that's at least 3 shots to the president's head. Tomorrow we'll read more about these witnesses. Something called Billy Nolan, Lovelady, the Umbrella Man, Big Black Dog Man. Do you know all these witnesses to the crime or the shooters? Yeah, we're learning, aren't we? So if we think there's any truth or honesty here, then please like and subscribe and share, and have a nice day.